So welcome back, this is Sammy Hegab and we'll continue from where we left off. So I was just showing you on the other video my LinkedIn profile, so if you want to reach out to me on that. Now in this video I'll be giving you a little quick sort of introduction of the kind of tools that we'll be using, so at least you can get a head start and start to download these applications or tools. So starting off with Eclipse, if you just go to eclipse.org, downloads, you can download the IDE, which is Interactive Development Environment, and that's the application we're going to use to write our code. You can program in a number of different languages, but for this particular course we'll be focused on Java. So let's just get started. So let's look for download. As you can see here, it's quite easy to install. You click download 64 if you've got a 64-bit computer, which I assume you do. We're now in 2018, so pretty much everyone's got a computer that's at least a 64-bit. So you can click download here, and then the application, as you can see, it will start to download. It says it's harmful, but in this case you just keep it. I wouldn't recommend you do that for any application you download, but in the case of Eclipse you can say keep, and then it will start to download. As you can see, it's about 46.4 megabytes, and then this is the installer, and you can then install the flavor of Eclipse that you might need. In our case we'll be focused on Java, but I'll show you how the installer looks like once it starts to run in a moment. So while waiting, I'll take you on the prerequisite, or what's required for Eclipse IDE. If you don't already have Java installed on your computer, you can go ahead to oracle.com, or you can search on Google for JDK, and the latest JDK we have currently in June 2018 is the JDK 10, which is Java 10. I understand that Java 11 will be coming out sometime maybe August or September, or at the worst case it will be October. So around that time there will be an update on Java, and we'll create the videos, or at least we'll be covering some of the the new features in Java 11 as well. So if you haven't already installed JDK, you can just click download like so. You select the operating system. In my case it will be Windows. I have to accept the license. It's completely free, and then just again keep, and it will start to download. And then it will basically once it's installed, then you have the JDK which you require when you're doing development. JRE, in the other hand, do not download that. The JRE is all your runtime environment, which allows you to run Java-based applications, which is all fine. However, if you're a developer and if you're doing coding in Java, you would need the development kit. So make sure you download the development kit. The development kit does include the runtime environment as well. So by default you've downloaded the runtime environment if you download the JDK. So as you can see, it's quite a big file, 319 megabytes, and my connection is a bit slow. So now the installer has just come up. I'm assuming that you did install the JDK. It's nothing interesting, but I'll show you the installer, how that looks like. So there's the installer for Eclipse, and as you can see, it says here Eclipse IDE for Java developers. It's got other options here. It's got the Eclipse C++ developer if you're doing C++. Maybe in the future we'll do a video on C++. PHP developers. There's other sort of flavors of the Eclipse IDE. In our case, what we're going to do, we're going to download Eclipse IDE, or install the Eclipse IDE for Java EE Enterprise Edition, which gives you all these extra bits as well, as you can see here, and we'll discuss that in more detail as we progress through the course. But for now I'm just going to click on that, and then I'm going to select the location where I'm installing the JEE, and then just say install, and now it starts to install Eclipse. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of groundwork to do just before we start the course. I'm giving you this so at least you get an idea of what's involved from the very beginning, rather than as we progress in the course and I say, oh, we need to install now Eclipse. So we'll get all that out of the way from the very start, and then that way we'll just jump in and start coding and doing some simple examples and build up on that. You don't have to use Eclipse. You can use any other IDE if you're more experienced. NetBeans is an IDE they use in universities and academia. So if you feel more comfortable with NetBeans, go ahead. If you want to use IntelliJ, you can go ahead as well. So we're almost finished installing here, and in a JDK as well, that's down here, and that's it's completely downloaded. So what I can do is I can just click on JDK 10. If I've already got it installed, it will tell me that I've got it installed. Otherwise, it will just start installing the JDK 10. I think I have JDK 9, so it will probably tell me that I've got an old version, but we'll see. So it tells me here that I already have the JDK 10, so it's asking me if I want to reinstall it. In this case, I'm just going to say no. If it's your first time, you won't get this message and it will proceed with installing the application. Now, I'm assuming that you're very familiar with installing applications on Windows, so I'm not going to spend too much time on explaining exactly how to install any application in Windows. So I'm just going to say no for now. And as you can see, also the install is completed, and now it's telling me to launch Eclipse. So we'll just click on launch and see what happens. Okay, so as soon as I clicked launch, it basically gave me this window, and it says here Sammy Eclipse Workspace. I can call it absolutely anything. We could just say learning programming. So I've just created a folder called learning programming, and I'm just going to click launch, and this is going to be our workspace. So here we are. We've got Eclipse started up, and it says here learning programming. That's the folder or the workspace that we've selected or we entered. I'm just going to close this up so at least it's out of the way, and we've got a clear screen now with the projects. So when I want to start a new project, I can click new here, I can go here and I can say new and the type of project that we want to sort of start up. So I'm just going to wrap up here this video, and we'll progress from this point in the next video. But yeah, so you could just download Eclipse, download the JDK, get familiar, just have a look around, and then we'll progress in the next video.